Valley J here with another factory setup for you. In my previous two videos I showed you setups to break down your junk items into their base components. Today I'm going to show you my setup for turning those base components into weapons and ammunition, or really anything else you want. I'm going to be manufacturing 10mm pistols and ammunition, then I'm going to change over to miniguns and 5mm ammunition. Now, I have my vacuum hoppers here set up to feed out onto the main line for each builder. As you can see, I have steel, springs, screws, oil, and gears for the weapon line, and copper, fertilizer, and lead for the ammunition line. I'll go down here, see where our belts split off, going to each of the makers. Now I have here a split track with a diverter arm, so when I'm through manufacturing, I hit a switch, the diverter arm closes, and any excess materials will go into this conveyor storage. Now if we look over here in just a moment, we'll see a 10mm pistol come out. It will cross this laser tripwire that I have set up, which will power it for a second, sending power to my counter. As you can see now, I've made 8 10mm pistols. Now I have these counters set up to count higher than just 9. When this counter reaches 9, it will flip over to 10, send power to this counter, which will send it to 1, and this would be 0 to make 10. Go over here, see that I've made 28, 29 boxes of ammunition. I'm going to show you how to switch over to a different manufacturing process. So we'll close our diverter arms, turn around to my switchboard, turn off all of my vacuum hoppers so they'll stop producing. And then we need to reset our counters. First we're going to go to my terminal, go to power counter control, and set the count to 1. You can see I've made 11 10mm pistols, and I have this switch which I have labeled R for reset. Turn it on, it'll count from 1 to 2. Turn it on again, the first switch resets, the second one goes to 2. Turn it on a third time, 0 to 1. Turn it on a fourth time, and they both reset. And then turn it off so it will count properly on your next production run. Over here we do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and 4 to make them reset fully. The last step for resetting is going back into our terminal, power counter control, and resetting the count back to 9. Now, to switch from 10mm to miniguns, I need to change my maker. So I take the wires from my terminal and my laser switch, remove them, pick up the weapon forge, move it out of the way, slide the heavy weapon forge in its place, and then wire it back up. Then we'll change our production items in the terminal. Ammunition, we're going to go to 5mm rounds. Takes copper and fertilizer. Go to heavy weapon control, and we will select minigun. And it takes gear, oil, screw, spring, and steel. Last step, close our diverter arms so they will allow the components to reach the makers. Check to make sure nothing is stuck or laying around on the ground. And then we'll go over and hit our switches for our hoppers. So I have copper and fertilizer on ammunition, steel, screw, gears, oil, and springs for the weapon forge. Run down here and see that everything is producing exactly like it should. really this setup is for making very large production runs, arming your settlers, or maybe turning your components into something more valuable. Originally this setup was used for a survival run, put all my different food ingredients in, have them all running to a food processor so I can cook any of the recipes in the game. But I like the idea so much that I decided to use it for a number of other processes as well. Now, ideally, everything would be finished. I would have a roof. Everything would just look a lot neater. I would have all these wires hidden using conduit, and I would probably have all my switches, terminal set up in that office up there, just so everything looks better. I'm a real sucker for aesthetics. But I also have labels on all of my switchboard. As you can see, I've got 15 switches here that control all 15 hoppers in each line. Same over here. Now let's check on our progress. See, we have one minigun completed. Run over here to my ammunition and we'll see 10 boxes of 5mm rounds. And again, whenever you finish with production, hit your diverter arms to stop the flow of materials. Turn your hoppers off to stop the flow from there. Now you will have some spare materials in your weapon forges and ammo plants. I suppose it would be possible to set up your hoppers all to produce at different speeds to cut down on excess materials, but that would take a lot of planning and setting each individual hopper to a different speed for every production run. All in all, I find it easier to do it this way, as I prefer simplicity. And again, after you turn everything off, reset your switches, make any changes you need to on your line, change what you need in your terminals, turn everything back on, and get to producing. That's about all I have for you today. I do plan on releasing my manufacturing tips and tricks video to show some of the techniques I've used to set up my plant, like set up this plant and my recycling plant. So if you're interested in building your own, you may want to check back in the next day or two for that. And I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Have a great day.